God, Lord, 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 me, be your Lord, 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 pray, Jesus, yeah, 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 Lord, Lord, pilgrim through the first I believe the power of Christ, hold me with thy powerful hand. Second Corinthians chapter 12. Second, there is a word from the Lord on today. You would look past the preacher. God has a word for your situation, your circumstance on today. 2 Corinthians chapter 12. We should take note. Verse number 8. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take away from me, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest upon me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I take delight in weakness, insults, and in hardship, and persecution, and difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. You might be seated in the presence of the Lord. Verse number 9 says, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. But he said to me, my grace, talking about God's amazing grace, is sufficient for you.
All right,
for my power is made perfect in weakness. I want to talk from the subject, Lord, how long must I bear this thorn?
All right.
Lord, how long must I bear this thorn?
All right.
I have discovered, Bishop, that in this life, I'm going to deal with some thorns.
Right.
I'm going to deal with things that would bring me to my knees.
Right.
I'm going to deal with things that brings tears to my eyes in the midnight hour.
All right, preacher.
I'm going to deal with things that will make me turn my face toward the wall and say, Lord, why me?
All right.
I'm going to deal with things that even my friends don't have an answer for.
All right, preacher.
I'm going to deal with things that even when I go to the preacher for prayer, after he has prayed, the thorn is still there.
All right.
I'm going to deal with things that even my family, they can't lighten the situation.
Yeah.
And so today, Paul tells us that 3 times I prayed to the Lord because I had a thorn in my flesh.
All right, preacher.
And I had to go to Dr. Webster because I didn't know just what a thorn really was.
All right, sir.
So when I called on Dr. Webster, he told me, he said, Wren, here's the definition of a thorn.
All right.
He said it's something that wounds you. He said it's something that annoys you. He said it's something that causes discomfort in your body.
All right.
That sounded like a pretty good definition right there.
All right.
Because I realized that in this life, the enemy will try to annoy me with things that don't even do me no good.
All right, preacher.
I realize that there are some things in this life that will cause me discomfort in my walk with the Lord.
All right, preacher.
I realize that there are things that will wound me and cause me to go to my knees in prayer.
All right, preacher.
So, preacher, you told me what the definition of a thorn was. So let's see, can we go far?
All right.
I understand that a thorn is something that will make you pray to God.
All right.
A thorn is something that will cause you to become humble in the sight of the Lord.
All right.
See, I found out that nobody wants to deal with a thorn.
Right.
Nobody wants to deal with hardships in this life.
All right, preacher.
Everybody wants the bed of peaches and cream.
All right.
But when trouble comes, they run.
All right, preacher.
And as I look in this room on today, this room is made up of 3 kinds of people.
All right, preacher.
Those of you that are in trouble, those of you that are coming out of trouble, and those of you that are headed for trouble. But let me tell you this, my brothers and my sisters.
All right.
When trouble comes, trouble won't get you mixed up with me.
All right.
I think y'all will say that one more time. Trouble knows your address.
Yes.
Trouble won't get your address mixed up with mine.
All right, preacher.
But when trouble comes, what do? Do you run and tuck your tail in?
Come on, preacher.
Or do you fall on your knees and say, Lord, here am I.
All right.
Whatever you're doing with me,
All right, sir.
cause me to become humble.
All right, sir.
Trouble will come, y'all.
All right.
Thorns are not easy, y'all.
All right, preacher.
But you got to hold on to God's unchanging hand.
All right, preacher.
Jacob had a thorn, y'all, but he made it.
All right.
Because he said, Lord, I'm going to hold on to you.
right.
And I'm not going to let go until you bless me.
All right, sir.
David had a thorn, y'all,
sir.
but he made it, y'all. Because he said, yea, though I walk through the valleys of the shadows of death, I will fear no evil.
All right, preacher.
Jehoshaphat had a thorn, y'all, but he made it. Because he said, this battle is not mine.
Yes.
It belongs to the Lord. Job had a thorn, y'all, but he made it, y'all. Because he said, though you might slay me, yet will I trust God. Isaiah had a thorn, y'all, but he made it. Because he said, Lord, here am I. Send me. Jeremiah had a thorn, y'all, but he made it. Because he said, it's like fire shut up in my bones. The 3 Hebrew boys had a thorn, y'all, but they made it. Because they told the king, Lord, king, we're not going to bow down to your golden image. Daniel had a thorn, y'all, but he made it. Because 3 times a day he prayed to the Lord. And God allowed him to make a line of thins his bed. The disciples had a thorn, y'all, but they made it. Because Jesus came from the bottom of the ship to the top of the ship.